not perfect. Oh, yeah. Saira. Thank you, Kanna. Also, somebody remind me, I apologize, last week I didn't close on time, so my sincere apologies. Might have caused some confusion for others. I was missing my timekeeper. Yeah? Please remind me when it is time to close. Huh? Okay. I set it that way so people can see Swami. Yeah. Okay. So he's trying to make it perfect. Thank you. Still some places Tvayi Layameshyati is not coming out good. And then in Dakshina. So please practice. Hello. Recording is available now. Please practice. Anybody wants Karapatras? Everybody has? Okay. Good. We are getting improvement. This used to be gone very quickly, but now people are bringing their own copies. So there is some improvement in our, definitely in 3-4 weeks. Huh? Who is coming for the class for the first time? First timer? Okay. You are not coming because this is a long weekend, no? Okay. I just want to make sure. I know there are some that are practicing at home. Mr. Adit. Okay, so, but if you are coming just because you have some time today, please don't make this as a hobby. Huh? No time pass. This is a class. This is study. This is serious. So you have to be committed. And otherwise what happens is you won't get the enjoyment of the full understanding it fully. Huh? Okay. So please make sure if you are coming for the first time, make sure that this is not the last time. Okay. And we were starting at Gunatrayatitaha, right? Did we go through that?
We just went the meaning of with the meaning.
Only the meaning of the first one. Huh? Okay. Tvam gunatrayatitaha. Tvam avasthatrayatitaha. Tvam dehatrayatitaha. Tvam kalatrayatitaha. Tvam mooladharasthitosi nityam. Tvam shaktitrayatmakaha. Tvam yogino dhyayanti nityam. Tvam brahma tvam vishnustvam rudrastvam indrastvam agnistvam vayustvam suryastvam chandramastam brahma bhuvassuvarom.
Brahma tvam vishnustvam rudrastvam indrastvam agnistvam vayustvam suryastvam chandramastam brahma bhuvassuvarom. Brahma tvam vishnustvam rudrastvam indrastvam agnistvam vayustvam suryastvam chandramastam brahma bhuvassuvarom.
My friend here is chanting perfectly. Huh? He is practicing so good. Perfectly he is chanting. Where you have to split, he is splitting. Huh? When you are chanting, you should not say, you are Brahma, you are Vishnu, you are Rudra, like that it should go. Not from you are Brahma, you are Vishnu, then what happens? Changes, it shifts already. Rudra you are, Brahma you are, like that you are chanting. Tvam should be emphasized like that. Okay? Now, Gunatrayatitaha. We talked about the three gunas. And the three gunas are tapasya. Put you on the spot. What are the three gunas? We talked about two things. STIR, the invention of Tejas, and STRI. Yes? Yeah? Tamasvika. Hello. Tamasik. Okay. Satvik, Tamasic, Rajasic. Sick. All the gunas are sick. Now you will easily remember. God is the one, He is beyond the gunas. Okay, here is very important. When we say gunatrayatitaha, atitaha means you are beyond the gunas. It doesn't mean He doesn't have gunas. Okay? He is beyond the gunas. Means what? What's the difference between not having any gunas or beyond the gunas? Means He is the one that is the subtle, the substratum of all the gunas. The abstract. Yeah. Substract and abstract. Okay? So, we are the substracts. He is the abstract. Okay? Gunatrayatitaha. The three gunas are the ones that are the expression of the self. But the one that is the origin of all the gunas and beyond the gunas, you understand? Having nothing, having everything. It's a question of frame of mind. It is the same. Nothing is everything. Everything is in nothing. Because without nothing, anything cannot come out of it, isn't it? Huh? Hello? You understand the thing? Okay, good. So, yeah. So, gunatrayatitaha. The next one is dehatrayatitaha. Avasthatrayatitaha. Avasthatraya. Avastha means? Avasthatraya. There are three different types of existence. Oh, what is this? Avastha means a type of existence. For example, you are right now, I will give you a clue. Right now you are, hopefully you are
present,
awake. No, that is three times, auntie. This is three different types of existence. Right now you are awake. In the night you go to sleep. Jagrat. When you are awake, it is called Jagrat. Swapna means dream state. Sushupti means deep sleep. What? There is really no English explanation for these words. There is, honestly, there is no expression that exists in English to describe what Sushupti is. The state of coma. What happens in state of coma? Now, you have to understand. Jagrat means awakened state, or Jagrat is wakeful state. Okay, right now you are awake. And Jagrat, in Jagrat, what happens? This is very important. It's not very complex. You just, all your full 25 aspects of you are present. You are awake. What is 25 aspects? Your 5 karmendriyas, your 5 jnanendriyas, and your ability, your 5 pancha pranas, 5 pancha tanmatras, and the 5 different types of, all of them come together, and you are present. Meaning what? The 5 karmendriyas, I already described all this in the previous classes. 5 karmendriyas, the 5 that do the action. What are those 5? Hello. If we do know that we use them, yeah? The 5 that do the action. Hands. Feet. Head. Head is doing action. Mouth, word, yeah. Vak, pani, pada. Those are walk is word, speaking. You are able to speak. Pani, you are able to use the hands are doing action. Pada, feet are doing action. These are the ones that are doing action. And the two excretory organs that you use. They represent the 5 karmendriyas that are doing the work. And with these 5 karmendriyas, you are able to receive, perceive things. For example, with your mouth you are able to speak, but you are also able to taste. With your ears you are able to hear. Yes. Listen is a better word. Okay. And then the third one is Shabda Sparsha, touch, feel. With your skin you are able to feel. Sparsha. Rupa, with your eyes you are able to see. Rasa, taste. Gandha, smell. So out of these 5 that I just spoke about, the able to receive, because if you don't have any of these things, you are not able to understand what is happening around you, right? You lose one element of perception, and those are what are called as the Jnanendriyas, because they are able to help you get knowledge. These are the ones that able to get you knowledge. Okay? The only one that is common between the karmendriyas and the jnanendriyas. Karmendriya means the one that is doing the action. The senses that are able to do the action, and the senses that are able to give you the perception, the knowledge. There is one thing that is common, which is the mouth, right? Mouth is doing 2 things, walk, and also it is able to do the taste. Now, there are 5 different types of breath. The air, the wind within you is called prana, apana, vyana, dana, udana, samana. But we know only 2 things, inhale and exhale. We know only 2 things, inhale and exhale. But there is a third type of air that is filled with you, which is called samana. And even doctors probably wouldn't know this, because Swami describes all these things in his discourses, which is beyond, not described in medical literature like it is described in the Vedas. Why do you get hiccups? Well, doctors can answer this question. Why does somebody get hiccup? Yeah, but what happens to there is something that causes the imbalance. This is biochemists would know this, probably not doctors. Biochemists, when there is imbalance in the alveolar space between the bicarbonate that is dissolved in the blood and the carbon dioxide that is in the lung, that imbalance causes hiccup. Yeah. So pH balance is disturbed. Doctors wouldn't know this, I know. Biochemists should know this. No? What? AA gradient. Yeah, why is that gradient is disturbed? Because of the disturbance in the biochemical aspect of it. This is all science. Children, listen, they won't teach you all this stuff in school here.
They did.
They did? Yeah. Then how come you are keeping quiet?
Because I forgot.
You forgot, okay. Now, the bicarbonate is samana. And there is disulfide that is in the blood. Actually, there are 10 different types of pranavayus that are inside. Only 5 are commonly used as the pancha pranas. The 5 different life forces are called the pancha pranas, which is prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. Udana means the one that is going downward, that is disulfide. And not funny, hello. This is really incredible science. You all think that Veda is all about Hinduism, it's all about human body, it's about the human mind, it's about the human consciousness and the human values. It is not about Hinduism. If you knew Veda, that's why when people knew Veda, they knew every aspect of living, not just going about living in a way without awareness. The rishis, they are the greatest scientists because they experienced the inner world, whereas the scientists today experience only the external world, not the internal world. Rishis always went inside to know about themselves. When they knew about themselves, they have actually passed it on just by generations and generations. Just that knowledge has been passed on. So there is incredible science in the Vedas. Who taught? See, Gunatrayatitaha, Avasthatrayatitaha, the three different forms of existence, conscience, three different type of consciousness, which is your awakened, your wakeful state, your dream state, and your deep sleep state. I am trying to explain scientifically what in those three states, what perceptions actually exist in the body. When you are awake, 25 indriyas, 25 senses exist along with you. Okay, the 5 different life forces I am talking about are prana, which is oxygen, apana, which is carbon dioxide, vyana, bicarbonate, udana and samana. But there are also 5 different voices: naga, kurma, krukara, datta, dhananjaya. 10 different types of life forces actually exist in you. For your eyelids to blink, there is a subtle wind element that is associated with your eyelids to blink. That's called kurma. Naga, kurma, krukara, datta, dhananjaya. 10 plus prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana. 10 different life forces. There are 5 pancha tanmatras, which we already talked about. Shabda, sparsha, rupa, rasa, gandha. Then there are 5 aspects that actually control the jnanendriyas: mano, buddhi, chitta, ahankara, jnata. Mind, intellect, chitta, conscience, jnata, the one who knows, and then ahankara, the ego, the feeling of the consciousness that says action, that you are the one that is doing it, that is ahankara. Okay, questions, comments? Prana, apana, vyana. Udana means the one that is going downward, which is primarily related to gas forms that are associated with sulfur. Okay? Alright. Now, all of these 25 coming together constitutes your wakeful state, because all of them are active when you are awake, hopefully. When you are in deep sleep, there are certain things that are shut off. They are not when you are in sleep. When you are in dream state. Okay? Jagrat, swapna. Swapna means dreamful state, which nowadays for most of the children, the wakeful state is gone. Most of the time they are in dreamful state. Even with their body awake, they are dreaming. Daydreaming they call it, right? What is daydreaming? When you dream in the day means what? Huh? You seem fully awake, but you are dreaming about something. Something which is, but in your dreamful state, that is Swami calling me. Tell him I am in the class inside. Please shut off your cell phones. Okay. So in the dream state, your body's aspects of the 5 karmendriyas are not functioning. Okay? What is really functioning? Your ability to listen, does it exist in sleep? When you are in dreamful state?
Well,
no.
Sometimes.
No. You cannot listen when you are dreaming. That's why daydreaming is that only. When you are daydreaming, you are not paying attention. Raji, hello? What did I just say, Raji? See, I see this in group 2 class. I will be talking, the children will be sitting, and I act next 2 minutes, and Jagan knows this. What is happening? They can't answer, because why? They're not listening. Why? They're daydreaming. Exactly. It happens to adults also. Don't feel bad. Huh? Children, adults, everybody. It happens. Because your mind is occupied with something. But in a dream state, with the exception of one thing I'll tell you, generally speaking, in your dream state, you cannot see anything that you have not already experienced in the wakeful state. Generally speaking. But there is only one exception to that. Who is that? Yes, you know, huh? Okay, question?
The Sarvam Jagati Tattva Jaya. In the A, what does that dash up there mean?
Okay, that's the intonation, how you chant up and down. Okay, yeah. Okay, so there is only one exception to that. Generally speaking, you cannot experience something in your dream state which you have not already experienced in the wakeful state. The only exception is Swami. Because people that have not seen Swami, have not experienced them physically, they can still experience them in their dream state. Because it is not really dream state. You understand? Many people, even doctors, you talk to Dr. Sam Sandwise, he's an incredible psychologist, psychiatrist actually. I was having a conversation with him. How does that happen? Because he is beyond avasthatrayatitaha. He is beyond the three types of existence. Now that is dream state. In dream state, you can still cognize, you can experience the thing is really happening, huh? The thing is really happening in your dream state, right? Because you are able to experience. Because what happens when your dream state, if a fearful thing comes, your blood pressure rises and you will have all the kind of stuff happens. And you will be very disturbed and all the things that is, and you are still breathing, hopefully, after that. And all the nightmare stuff you are going through, you are still experiencing it, isn't it? That's kind of the dream state. But your active organs that are supposed to do the action, they are not functioning. And your 5 karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, those 10 are shut off. But the rest of them are active. And there is a third state. Only 2 things are active and everything is shut off. And that is that, I don't know what you call it in medical terminology. Maybe it's coma, I don't know what it is called, but that is because I haven't experienced it yet, which is the sushupti. Means everything has gone inside. All your aspects about, only couple of things that are active, and that's why you can bring people back to life even after they are dead, because only those 2 things are active. Chitta and Jnata, only 2 things are active at that time. That's the sushupti. There is one even beyond that. That's called Turiya. And that is the one that is, there is absolutely not even, only thing that exists is Jnata. Everything else is shut off. This is very, I hope the children, maybe one of these days, I'll take a special class on the aspect of all the different types of consciousness and how they manifest in a human's existence. And how these pancha koshas are related to the pancha pranas, the pancha vayus, the pancha tanmatras, and the pancha karmendriyas, the jnanendriyas. It's an incredible thing to, but if you have time, please read Prashnottara Vahini of Swami. Everything is described there. Okay? Now, avasthatraya. What are the 3 types of existence? Avasthatraya. Hello? Avasthatraya. Huh? Awake. Dreaming,
and deep sleep.
And deep sleep. Coma. Okay. Then next one is
Dehatraya.
Dehatrayatitaha. You are beyond the 3 bodies. That's what it means. 3 bodies? How many bodies we have?
1.
Huh?
Physical body.
How many bodies we have? Hello? Only 1, right? But why this mantra is saying Dehatrayatitaha? Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, she got it. Because it depends on which state you are in. Associated with that, there is a body. That's what you said, right? Yeah. Very good. So, why? Because in your wakeful state, you are not able to see, you are able to see, etc. But in deep sleeps, in your dream state, you're not able to see, you're not able to hear, etc. So there is the three types of body. Or anybody wants to take the three types of body now? Now that she has given the clue, yeah. Yes. Yeah, the gross body, subtle body and the cosmic body. Those are the three. Sthula Sarira, Sukshma Sarira, Karana Sarira. And there is a fourth one actually, which is not possible for all the regular people can experience the three types of body. But God is the one that is beyond the three, and He is called Mahakarana Sarira, which is the one that is even substratum for. In Sthula Sarira, all those 25 are active. In Sukshma Sarira, only the 5, the Manasu, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankara, Jnata are active. And in Karana Sarira, when I say active, what it means is that the work can be performed even without using all these aspects of Indriyas. That is what the greatest. Like, people like Swami, even though he is not physically sitting here, he can do work anywhere associated with anything. So much so that even such a subtle body, Swami would go sitting in the olden days. I'll tell a story. He'll be sitting in the chair and all of a sudden he'll go still, like almost like a wood. Nothing, no breath, nothing will be active. Just like that. And then after a few minutes he will be awake. And he'll just wake up and say, I had to go fix this planet, there was a problem, come back. Well, you understand? We cannot understand, of course, right? Because we hear this and we say, what is he talking about? Why? Because we can't relate to it. Once we cannot relate to it, we think there is something wrong with it. This is the human perception. Oh, why? Because I can't logically perceive it. If I cannot logically perceive it, then it should not be right. That's not the way to look at it. The problem is that there are things that are beyond your logic and your own ability to understand. So therefore, if you cannot understand it, doesn't mean that doesn't exist. Hello children, you have to be very paying attention to this clearly. Okay? The moment we think that something exists because we can't perceive it, therefore, no, this is very important, because it doesn't mean that you cannot apply your logic. Again, listen to this carefully. Your mind and your intellect are just instruments to perceive something. And you have to use them to perceive something, to be able to have discrimination, to be able to judge things properly, etc. But when it comes to divinity and to understanding divinity, He is beyond your rational tools. Therefore, at that point, you cannot try to analyze it, because only experience me. That's what Swami says, right? You have to only experience Swami. You cannot question that. Okay? This is, now I'm going into Dehatraya, because these mantras are telling why God is beyond logic. Gunatrayatitaha, beyond the three attributes. Avasthatrayatitaha, beyond the three states of existence. Dehatrayatitaha, beyond the three types of body. Next, Kalatrayatitaha. Now you see what, I wanted to complete this story. So one time Professor Kasturi and another gentleman by name Lokaya, they were both pressing Swami's feet. And all of a sudden, and they were doing Padaseva for Swami, they were pressing his feet. One leg Professor Kasturi, another leg Mr. Lokaya, they were pressing his feet. All of a sudden, Lokaya felt that the leg he is pressing is like wood. He can't even feel the muscle. Everything was like as if he was just pressing some wood. And he tried to check Swami's breath, no breathing was going on. And he started crying because he thought Swami was gone. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. And suddenly what happened? He started crying. He was saying, oh Swami, what happened? He was crying. And Professor Kasturi was telling him, okay, take it easy. This Swami does this to take care of some things beyond his physical body. And after a few minutes, Swami woke up, and then Professor Kasturi prayed to him. Said, Swami, Lokaya got really scared and he started crying. Swami, then Swami explained to him, there was this problem in some Nakshatra Mandalam, the star, the cosmic world, galaxy. I had to go fix something so that everything comes back to balance. And then Professor Kasturi prayed to him, do you really have to leave your body to do that, Swami? At that time, Swami made a promise that he will not, so that people won't get scared, he can be still awake and fix things. Hello? Okay, now you got it. Okay, good. So, avasthatrayatitaha, dehatrayatitaha, kalatrayatitaha. Kala means?
Time.
Time. Yeah, man. What are the three types of time? Past, present and future. Is there time beyond that? What is that? Okay, that's God. Because there is, see, here is the paradox. You are beyond the three times. Meaning what? You are beyond the three times. When Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita that I existed even before Surya existed. Surya, not this Surya. I existed even before the sun existed. That's what he said. Then Arjuna got confused. You are only 15 years older to me. What are you talking, Krishna? He asked him. Huh? Right? What does that mean? You are beyond the three times means the aspect of time and the aspect of space are associated with one thing, the mind. When the mind is not there, there is no time, there is no space. It doesn't mean Swami is mindless. That's what it means. Huh? Okay, because I have to clarify all this over and over, because people listen to this, oh, you said this, they will say. No, what I am saying is, you have to understand, it is not that he is beyond the mind. Means what? He is the one that is even giving the mind the ability to perceive. Therefore, he is beyond the mind. Okay? Kalatrayatitaha. Next one is? Mooladharasthitosi nityam. That is now ultimate. Why is it that you are beyond all these things? Because you are the one, Mooladhara. You are the substratum and the source of everything. You are the source of everything, and hence you are beyond all these things. Huh? Is it, hello, is it being, everybody, you all look dazed and I cannot understand whether I am talking to, there is no, I'm saying what is he talking, I kind of get the feeling. Is this very complex? Huh? What do you think, Sairam? Simple, no? Yeah. No, are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, he is sure. Nitin is sure. Yeah. Yes, somebody had a question? No? Okay. Mooladhara sthitosi nityam. You are always, you are ever the substratum and the source of everything. Tvam Shakti Trayatmakaha. Now, Shakti Traya, three different types of energies. Now, here is the thing. The students will get confused. They only learned two energies in science. What are the two energies?
Kinetic and potential.
Kinetic and potential. Those are the two energies they learned. Now we are saying, that's middle school stuff. Yeah, now when we go to high school, we get to three energies. Middle school, only two energies. Okay? The three energies are, yes?
Creation, preservation, and destruction.
Oh, creation, preservation and destruction. Okay. Those are the three types of work he does. But there is three different types of energies. Now above 15 years? Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. Ichha Shakti means? Huh? The energy to will. Getting a will in place. Okay? Then Kriya Shakti is the energy to do the action. What is Jnana Shakti? Huh? Think. Jnana is not think. Think is actually Ichha Shakti, because that is the thought. The energy of thought, the energy of action, and the energy of wisdom. Those are the three. Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. What's that? Ichha Shakti, Kriya Shakti. Hey, who does like this?
Christians.
When you do like this, what does that mean? It's saying unity of thought, action, and the will, the wisdom. Unity of these three things is the symbol. Who says Vedas is for Hindus? This is the source of everything, the source of the entire wisdom. There is nothing that is not described here. This is what Swami told me in my dream. When we was learning the first mantra of Rudram, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Nam Namaste Rudramanya Bhavuto Tayishave Namaha, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. And I read the meaning in this Veda Pushpanjali, because the class was starting. First time the Rudram class was starting, and I have never read books to explain the meaning of these Veda mantras, because Swami said, I'll give you whatever you want, Bangaru, don't worry about anything else. Just do my work, that's it. And then I said, my God, what is this meaning of Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya, Om Nam Namaste Rudramanya Bhavuto Tayishave Namaha, Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhya Mutate Namaha. And yes, prostrations to Lord Rudra, who is the destroyer of sin and sorrow. O destroyer of sin and sorrow, prostrations to your anger, and then to your arrow, and to your bow, and to your pair of hands. Literally written like that. That's the literal meaning. It's called Vachyartha. Exactly the artha of the meaning of the words. That's what that means. I read this and I was saying, oh my God, tomorrow I'll go to the class. And then first thing I'll say is, I bow to your anger, and everybody, all the students are thinking, God has anger? What are you talking about? You just told us God is love. How can God have anger? Destroyer, anger, all these are. Bow to your anger. I thought anger is a bad quality, and you're bowing to God's anger. I was really perturbed. I couldn't sleep that night. I just went, Swami, please help me. I can't explain this meaning. Then he came into my dream, and then, of course, it's not dream. That is the different story. And he started explaining, hey, all these pundits, they only write the meaning of what the words mean. But Veda has three different types of meaning, he said. The meaning of the words, the meaning that is encrypted, antarartha. Each of these are encryptions. And in order to, this is the code of Da Vinci, encryption. And the third one is Paramartha, the spiritual, the eternal meaning. There are three different types of meaning. And these meanings keep coming by your depth of contemplation and practice, not just by chanting Veda. What we are trying to do here is the most fundamental primitive, which is just to learn and chant. But when you really focus on these mantras, the mantras become the tools, the energies to go inside yourself. And once you go inside yourself, you begin to connect to the encrypted meaning. This is all Swami saying in the dream. And he said, in this encryption, Rudra means the substratum of everything. And from this Rudra, Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraja, Om Nam Namaste Rudra Manyava. Manyu means the energy of wisdom. Vutot Yeshave Namaha. Yeshu means thought, not arrow. Your thought could be as powerful as an arrow. You understand? The moment you get a thought, with thoughts you can hurt people. And you can get hurt too. Somebody may say something to you, you can keep on thinking about it and hurt yourself, even though that fellow might not have meant anything for you to think like that. You understand? Who is hurting? You yourself are hurting, because you are thinking about it. Your thoughts are, oh, he didn't look at me and smile today. Maybe I did something wrong. No, he didn't have. He is busy going around. Come on, give him a break. How come, he looked at me like that? Maybe I did something wrong. No, why you are worrying, you are hurting yourself with all this stuff? Ishavenam. This is very important, because you can only hurt yourself with your thoughts and your feelings. Those are arrows. And these arrows are coming from a bow. And what that bow is your mind. What is launching these arrows? Your mind. And then the mind, once it perceives the thought, it launches the action, and that is your hands. So therefore, O substratum of everything, Rudra, I bow to your ability to give me the wisdom. I bow to your ability to make me think. And I bow to your ability to give me the ability to execute my thoughts into action. See the same slokam. Once you understand what a thought is an arrow, your mind is the bow, the same slokam. And Swami did like this. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraja, Om Namaste Rudramanyava Bhutota Yeshave Namaha, Namaste Astu Dhanvane, Bahubhyamutate Namaha. And then he said, this is the essence of Christianity. Unity of thought, word and deed. So Rudram starts with bowing to Jesus Christ. If I say this in the temple, they'll kill me. Because what? You cannot even say the word Jesus in a temple, or you are going to be killed. No, but this is all stupidity. I mean, Jesus, the entire Jesus crucifixion is described in one Veda. It's called Purusha Suktam. How he was tied, how he was, crucifixed, and how the great subtle body of Jesus emerged because of that crucifixion. It's all described in Veda mantras. All that has happened, is happening, is going to happen, is described in the Veda mantras. The entire Ramayanam, entire Mahabharata, all the avatars, everything is described in Veda mantras. Why? Because all of these happenings around you already are happening in you. And you connect to it when you connect to yourself. Om Shri Sai Ram. Now let us chant. Now today most of the class I gave the lecture rather than having, but the point is, once you connect to what is the meaning of this, and now you say Dehatrayatitaha, Kalatrayatitaha, Avastatrayatitaha, Mooladharas Shaktitrayatmakaha, Tvam Yogino Jhayanti Nityam. Next one is Tvam Yogino Jhayanti Nityam. Next. Tvam Brahma, Tvam Vishnu, Tvam Rudras, Tvam Indras, Tvam Agnis, Tvam Vayu, Tvam Suryas, Tvam Chandramas, Tvam Brahma, Bhuva, Suvarom. Now you see, because you are all these things and you are beyond all these things, you are the substratum of all these things, and that is where the yogis go inside and pray. To you, the substratum of everything. Tvam Yogino Dhyayanti Nityam. The yogis therefore go inside and connect to you. Yoga means to connect. Religion means yoga. Relegare. Legare means to connect. Ligate is the word that came from ligation. Legare. From relegare means to reconnect. That is the purpose of religion. Not to separate people, but to reconnect them. Hello. Religion is to reconnect. Reconnect what? Reconnect yourself to yourself. Reconnect yourself with the small I to the self, the big I. That is the meaning of religion. But today a human being is using religion to separate people, not to reconnect them. Only Bhagavan does reconnection. He is the one that is connecting the entire world to come together into this mass consciousness. And that's why that is the Sanatana Dharma. That is the beauty of the Sanatana Dharma. And hence he is asking people to learn Veda, because hopefully this stupid fellow, after chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting, one single day say, hey, what am I really chanting? Why am I chanting? What is it that I am chanting about? And then he'll go quiet and he'll go inside. What is it that I am chanting? And then once you start going inside, all the meaning, everything starts to, that is educare. All your worldly thing that you're learning is education. But you come to Sai Center for educare. If you learn this, you can speak any language you want. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Gujarati, all sab ek hi hota hai. Samajh gaya? Hello? Huh? That's why learn this language. Learn this language of the heart. Yesterday night we were doing the Rudram in another temple. My voice is gone, but the energy was so immense. It was, you can feel the presence of Swami. Absolutely you can feel. And there is no, everybody is connected. Everybody is totally connected. Why? Because the mind is lost. And everybody has one focus towards him, and that is reconnection. That is the purpose of religion. Mooladhara sthitos nityam. Tvam yogino jhayanti nityam. Tvam Brahma, you are Brahma. You are Vishnu. Who is that you they are referring to? You. You are Brahma. You are Brahma. You are Vishnu. You are Rudra. You are Agni. You are Vayu. You are Chandra. Okay, what is the meaning of Indra? No, Brahma. Now, when we hear these words, when we say Brahma, we are thinking Brahma with 4 heads. Vishnu means the guy that is lying on the coil with blue body and poor woman pressing his feet. And Rudra means the guy that is sitting on some white mountain. He is very fearful. He'll kill you and destroyer. So all this we are thinking, but that is not the meaning of this. The meaning of this is very different. Brahma, you are the ability to create. Vishnu, you are the ability to expand. Rudra, you are the ability to withdraw and dissolve. Indra, you are the ability to do work. Surya, you are the ability to have effulgence. Vayu, you have the ability to spread. The energy that enables you to. So the meaning of all these things is not related to the gods and the demigods, 1 million of them, and we have 15,000 photos in the home, and each photo we are confused because we are covering them with the smoke that is coming from the Karpuram. We can't distinguish the Tondam from the tail because it's covered with the suit. We can't tell it is Hanuman or Ganesha because why? So we are lost in all this stuff. Confusion, maze, and the children are also wondering what is all this. But once they connect to what this is about, that you are the ability to have creativity, you are the ability to have expansion consciousness, that is Vishnu. Rudra, withdrawal, dissolution consciousness, detachment consciousness, that is Rudra. Destroyer doesn't mean, what he is giving you is when you are too much attached to something, including a Sai Center, then he comes the ability to detach yourself from it and to look back. Okay, you understand? So yes.
If you chant these mantras, you can speak anything, even Marathi.
Even Marathi, yeah, that's right. Okay, that's our base. Okay, so very good. Okay, let's close with chanting just this last mantra. त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः
त्वं समस्तत्रयातीतः त्वं देहत्रयातीतः त्वं कालत्रयातीतः त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यम् त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः त्वं योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यम् त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वमिन्द्रस्त्वमग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्मभूर्भुवस्वः। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
For the next 4 weeks, the next class will resume on March 24th. 21st,
The 30th is a Tuesday.
because I will be not in town. But here is my request. Please come at 9 o'clock and practice this together. And even have a study circle, a satsang. Come up with questions. What is it that we are not connecting to? And then that way it has an opportunity to 21st is the correct date, yeah. So, and brother also is planning on practices for bhajan practice. Come and chant this and do bhajan practice together and use that as an opportunity to have the satsang. Okay? Om Shri Sai Ram. Om Shanti Shanti.